Okay, guys, well, I'm just hoping that you're having the best dang on diddly day ever. I want to talk about some games that I've never played. These are going to be the best MMO that I have never played. How can I do a list video on that? I don't know. I'm just taking what's popular. I'm just taking about what I think are probably the best MMO. And really, it's kind of easy to see why or how that might be the case. They're historical, they're like record-breaking, they're very popular, or they used to be. One reason or another, their mechanics have been super influential, blah, blah, blah. You can kind of tell when a game is probably good. You can kind of tell when a game is kind of an epic deal, okay? And these MMOs that I have never played, I really wish that I did during their prime, or maybe I could give them a second chance. I mean, I freaking played Meridian 59 not too long ago and I had a good time. So yeah, maybe it's possible. But I wanted to do this video basically because I wanted to say that I always have a longing to play games, and I do these videos on games that have passed, that maybe no one plays or they're underrated and things like that. And I'm doing this as like I'm kind of calling out, I'm shouting out into the ether, hoping somebody screams back. I want to hear a howling wave of people saying these games are still cool, or this is how you can enjoy this game, or maybe there's this, spiritual successor that you should play, because I'm going to be talking about experiences that I know I'm missing out on, and I want you guys to help me find that, because I'm always trying to help you guys, and through this sort of community effort, maybe we can find new players for these games, maybe I'll jump in, maybe, we can all go in together, or we can find some avenue to have and share these experiences together, some way, somehow, I don't know. So you guys, the best MMO I have never played. So I hope you guys forgive me for being a little bit brief, because, I haven't played these games, but I do want to kind of get across my conceptions or misconceptions of the game. Hopefully you guys can correct me in the comments below, and also help me, maybe curate a new player's experience as I go and play it next year. I'll be streaming it, so, look for that stream and look for the Patreon to support that as well. 2020 is EVE Online worth playing. I will actually be giving it a shot, and especially on mobile devices, I'm going to play EVE Echoes. But, I hopefully you guys can actually help me and many other new players get into this game. And I'm going to kind of give my thoughts here. EVE Online, for the 0.01% of the time, it seems like it's just literally the best MMO. At least for me, the political sabotage, the drama that you hear about is just unreal. Compared to other games, really. And then you also have the literal world record-breaking battles. EVE Online just seems like it would be a really, really fun game to gank around in, play the forum game. Something that is underrated when it comes to MMO gameplay is, getting a guild or enemies, jumping between discords and forums now. It's some cool stuff. But EVE Online, when I downloaded it, I looked at the menus and everything, and I saw that it wasn't a dogfighting game, which is really more my speed. That's why I play games like Dreadnought or Fractured Space or a few other non-freighter MOBAs style or dogfighting games. War Thunder is one. But yeah, EVE Online is an MMO. I think it's really cool, but it just hasn't been for me. Even though on paper, sandbox PvP MMO, yeah, but like the sandbox PvP isms is, and what makes this game truly epic and notable, that doesn't happen all the time. Or probably not the majority of the time. But if somebody can let me know how I can get into that quickly, how I can, jump into, the part of the game that I want to, then I'd really appreciate it. And I'd probably play and have a really great time. So please and thank you in the comments below. Next game is EverQuest, which is the father of theme park MMO. And I just want to say real quick that I think a theme park, that probably the best example of a theme park MMO is Guild Wars 2. A lot of people think like World of Warcraft's a great theme park, but really World of Warcraft's a really good roller coaster. It's one ride. It's one, at least modern World of Warcraft. The greatest theme parks have more than one type of ride, many rides that you can just kind of spread out and do. I think the original EverQuest, it felt kind of more sandbox, even though they are, these kind of games, in like RuneScape, these kind of classic, really RPG MMOs, these games were proper theme parks. And I think EverQuest, felt kind of sandboxy for a theme park. That's all. But from the menus, the graphics, things like that, it just really, really deterred me personally against somebody who's really mechanics based. But then again, I played RuneScape and I still play RuneScape, and I recently played Meridian 59 and I had so much fun with that. So I really do want to go back to older games. I actually want to play all the games on this list. And I think I should start with like one of the fathers of MMOs, especially since it spawned World of Warcraft, and that basically booned all of the MMO-dom. But EverQuest and what they did with it by making a sequel was the wrong move. Completely. Sequels to MMOs or games as a service, I think, are really, really poor decisions, and it can damage or ruin a reputation, fragment the player base, and I don't really know the complete details. All I know is that really what made EverQuest 1 special wasn't entirely carried over to EverQuest 2, which I actually did play EverQuest 2 a little bit when I went free to play. It was neat, it was cool, but I think actually I'd be more interested in spending more time in the OG EverQuest. So if you guys want to jump in with me, let me know. Okay, halfway on the list, I've got Ragnarok Online, which I didn't know existed until PewDiePie did a video. He's like, I don't know, I used to play this as a kid. And I was like, whoa, I worked for a free MMO station for years, and I always checked out free-to-play games. I used to watch MMO huts just like you guys. I would look up like Guns the Duel, Dragon Nest, things like that, Night Online, RuneScape, obviously, Moo Online. I looked at all these different games, and I totally just did not know Ragnarok Online existed, so I don't know if it just fell out of popularity incredibly quickly because of the popularity of things like World of Warcraft on the horizon, or I don't know, just a flood of free-to-play games in general. I don't know what happened, but I missed out on Ragnarok Online. And honestly, the only thing I can tell you is that I've played Tree of Savior, which is more of an action RPG. I've played games that were apparently inspired by Ragnarok Online. I played Ragnarok Online too, and that game was poop, and obviously not the same as the original. And that's all anybody would say is like, there'd be a game that has some mechanics like Ragnarok, and everyone's like, you know what, just go play Ragnarok. And I think it's about time that I have. It looks like it's a very grindy game, and what you guys say in the comments of videos is that it had really cool class mechanics, and there's some really interesting ways to play the game. That's a little bit more sandboxy, really, really grind oriented. And normally I would stay away from stuff like that. Like, I don't want to play Lineage, it's just a big grind. Oh, I don't want to play this game or that game. But Ragnarok is the one that actually has me intrigued because it doesn't seem like it's just grindy. I kind of got a hint of this in BDO, where you actually have rotations, or you have certain areas that you might want to grind for certain reasons, and depending on the class that you are, you might want to do different things. And I think Ragnarok kind of takes that beyond. Different classes play almost totally differently in terms of their grind rotation. And this is something that I'm beginning to taste by playing action RPG in general. It's not just spam fests, and it's not just about running through a game. It's about efficiency. It's like, how efficient can you grind? How efficient can you level up? And that's kind of more of the gameplay. It's not just one and done in quests. It's not just running through and beating a raid boss. Ragnarok plays very differently from a lot of games that I play, minus maybe something like BDO. So I've had little tastes of the potential, but with Ragnarok's, I guess, class system, which I have no concept of, but apparently it's like really cool and deep, and you can do some really cheesy things, then yeah, dude, no, I'm totally game for that. I think I want to play. The only thing that really holds me off is I guess really it's not that action packed. It's an older game, and the art style always kind of threw me off once I did actually learn about it. But then again, I'm kind of getting over that. I'm getting over that fact, and I think gameplay matters the most in games. So yeah, I think it's time for me to jump into Ragnarok Online. And number 2 on my list of the best MMO I never played is the Dark Age of Camelot, which I downloaded it and then deleted it pretty much instantly because it was just a little bit dated. And I was like, you know what, let's just go back to World of Warcraft. But this is a game that I remember seeing on store shelves a lot. I actually, every time I would go to this one store, I would read the box. I was enthralled by the idea of this game. I love the verses, right? The realm versus realm versus realm. It's something that I was very drawn to with Guild Wars 2. It's something that was very fun in Elder Scrolls Online. Obviously, PlanetSide, and so many games were inspired by this sort of system. It's easy to balance that, and I think this game, now that I'm looking into the classes and how the game's played, it seemed really very different, and it seemed like it would be very unbalanced and chaotic. And I think a big thing with a lot of these games is the cheese, is the experimentalism, is because nobody knows how to make an MMO. Even today, I would still stand by that. But the people who kind of put their heart out there and just try to make a fun game first, that's the best. An MMO is not going to be an esport by design. So these games, which you could debate, well, maybe they didn't last that long. You know, maybe the cheese did ruin the game. I don't know. There definitely obviously are issues with these games as services to an extent, but I feel like Dark Age of Camelot had something really, really special, and I do want to jump in. Now, I know there is going to be Camelot Unchained coming out, maybe soon. Debatable, but I think Dark Age of Camelot could probably still be fun, even if it does look a little bit dated. But at the same time, I think on modern machines, bump everything up to max, the high frame rate, I bet the PvP is more enjoyable today than it's ever been, especially because it's mass PvP. It's actually MMO PvP. And one thing that really turned me on to this game is that apparently the classes, it's not just like a holy trinity. And that might be the case for like all these games, but you know, this game especially, that's a very vocal echo, is that you know what, it's not just a holy trinity. Different classes do you know, very different type of supports and skills. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that mayhem. And lastly, I think the game that, at least for me personally, is the kind of the founding father for a lot of games that I really like, and kind of really what makes an MMO, and that's going to be Ultima Online. It's constantly referenced for so many games that, you know, maybe they should emulate it. Like a classic World of Warcraft, a lot of people be like, oh, you know, it's got these things, it's more sandbox, and that just means it's better. Now, I don't necessarily agree that things being more sandbox makes it better, especially like to the extent Ultima Online is. But then again, like, has there been any game that's really done to the extent of Ultima Online? They kind of always half-ass it. You know, a game that I played recently, Albion Online, you know, they instanced a lot of their games instead of making the housing open world and things like that for one reason or another. Still, like Ultima Online, whether that was balanced or not, same thing with all these games. I really liked the player housing, you know, in the open world. I think that's a really cool idea. I think that's a really cool concept. Being able to lose your house, get ganked, you know, the harshness of the game. I also think the graphics kind of hold up, and that's evidenced by a game that I played somewhat recently called Wild Terra, which also there's a sequel being announced. Honestly, that's kind of dubious, but Wild Terra literally looks just like Ultima. That art style, and you know, frankly, just older art styles. I think with a modern performance and modern, you know, UI and gameplay, I think that's totally fine. You know, games like that look like Doom, or games that look like Meridian 59, EverQuest, or, you know, RuneScape, things like that. It could totally work. I think Ultima Online could totally work today. And actually, I even want to play the original. So wait, yeah, why isn't Ultima Online ported to mobile? Why not? It totally would work as a mobile game, would it not? Anyways, Ultima Online just seemed, you know, it inspired RuneScape to an extent. It inspired Albion and just so freaking many sandbox games. Oh my god, basically all of them. And I basically don't know anything about the PvE. Other than like there was supposed to be this weird ecosystem thing that players completely ruined or something like that. Ultima Online tried to do a lot of innovative things that, you know, I think in the end they try to rebalance the game and they changed it too much. And so that's why it kind of failed. So maybe the OG, like original vision, or, you know, some patch somewhere that's like the prime of Ultima Online. I need to play that. I need to see what everyone is talking about. It seems like it's just a magical time to be alive. That is really only kind of a far cry that we kind of feel in games like Albion, or maybe even EVE Online. You know, so yeah, one of the greats, at least for one period of time for, you know, specific people. I have to see that as somebody who loves this genre. But that's pretty much it, guys. I obviously can't talk too much about these games. I'm not here to explain what these games are because I don't know. I never played them. You know, I want to play these games, and hopefully my thoughts and feelings around these games, misconceptions or conceptions, whatever you feel they are, hopefully that kind of helps veteran players understand where new players are coming from and how we can get into them. And hopefully this kind of inspires new players out there. You know, if you were kind of teasing the idea to play these games, you're not alone. A lot of people just want to find an actual good MMO, and it's okay to jump from MMO to MMO, and it's okay to just try games and try things, even if it looks really kind of shitty, or you know, it's past its prime. You know, you don't have to play the most popular game all the time. It's cool to you know, try to drag in a friend, or maybe even go it alone, because I know these games have hardcore communities. Hopefully some of them are watching this video and try to pull you in, and you just try to feel something for once in your life. It's not all about just mindlessly doing dailies, guys. And I think these games really prove that there's There's truly something unique of these games that still is probably unmatched in modern games. They just kind of give you a taste. And I get that vibe. That's the feeling I get. And that's why I'm interested to go to the original source. Because I don't think modern MMOs are really servicing us the way that we need to be serviced, to an extent. And in a lot of ways, they're better, obviously. But I think there's still something to glean from these older titles. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Was this video pointless? Was it fun? Should I do more videos like this? I don't know. Either way, keep the hype alive. My name's Skylent, and I'll see you again next time.